Welcome, I'm Sian Beckett and this is Lyra. I'm here to give you practical guidance during your spiritual awakening. And in this video, I'm going to cover another clair, which is clairvoyance. And this is the most commonly heard about clair. It's the ability to see. Now, I thought that this would mean that because it's an ability that I don't yet have, I have got the spiritual clair of feeling, which is clairsentience, and that's my main ability. So when people come through to me, that's how they tell me who they are. I didn't realise how clairvoyance actually happened. So I explained to one of my friends, who's a medium I've been going to see for many years. I said to him, you know, I know you've got clairvoyance. How does that actually feel, Stephen? And he said to me, well, Sian, you know, because I expected it was going to be, you know, like a person silly, like a ghost standing there and he would be able to see what they looked like. And he said, no, Sian, it's a bit like you're watching a movie in your mind. You know, an image will appear in your mind's eye and that will be the picture of what the spirit looked like in the 3D reality. Because, of course, when they've gone, they no longer have a body. But in order for the clairvoyant, or what many of them do, medium, they project themselves as that picture of what they looked like. So the person coming in to see the medium or the clairvoyant can have the explanation as to what their family member looked like, because humans need to have that. It's no good for a medium to say, I've got your father here, because they'll think, well, have you, or is that just a lie? You know, they think that you're not doing, you know, you don't know what you're doing. In order for them to clarify that they've got the right person, they've got an image appeared in their mind. So they'll have an image of him wearing a suit and a hat, etc., etc. This is how clairvoyance can help the police sometimes with cases, although the police will never tell you that they do this. If they've got a case where they've had a missing person or a murder they've got no evidence to direct as to who did the crime, they will sometimes call on a medium to look at a photograph of the victim and maybe recall some things or where they think they might be. Often a medium can look at a map and pinpoint exactly where the police need to go in order to search for a body, for example, or they will get an image of a spider, and that might mean to the medium, because every person that's got clairvoyance will have a picture of something that means something to them, which they can then, their spirit guides know their list of visual dictionary, if you like. So if you've got, if for example they see a spider, that might mean to them deceit, or it might mean luck, or so it gives them some way of giving the person in front of them the message that they need to hear from the spirits. They are images given to them, but not, as you would say, in 3D where you can see this. It's more like in your brain, like a movie's playing out in your head. So that was something. But having said that, I say I haven't got clairvoyance because on the spot I don't have images appear into my mind. But another way that spirits can appear to you in clairvoyance in person is in your dreams. Because when we're sleeping, our conscious mind is completely shut down and we're completely relaxed and we're not overthinking. So you can have a dream. So what I would say to you all is make sure that if you see a loved one, I mean, the dream you'll have will be, you'll physically see them as if they're in a scenario. It might be a strange scenario, like you're travelling on an aeroplane or something like that, but you'll see your loved one in your dream. And when you wake up, you'll vividly remember that dream, and you'll remember them being in the dream, to the point that perhaps you're going to wake up crying because you really miss them, or you're going to wake up and think it was real and, oh, they're not here, I forgot they've died, because that's how the emotion will come over you. That's how much they're actually there. So don't think of a dream as just an imagination. Think of a dream as reality. Because bearing in mind, our bodies are like an avatar, like a vessel, like a robot, if you like. And our soul is inside, and it's a free piece of energy. When we're asleep, that's why you can do astral travel, where you can leave your body and go to different dimensions while you're asleep or meditating, because our body is just something we think we're stuck in, but we're not. And we've got the ability to go into different realms if we want to, although fear can sometimes hold us back. And with dreams, just remember, I mean, I saw someone the very first time it happened to me. I mean, I quite often see my nanny, who will, if I'm really upset, come to me that night in a dream where she's just literally sitting on my bed, holding my hand, and I'm crying, and she's saying, "Don't worry, darling." And that's the dream. It's not a elaborate dream. It's just the fact that she's come to visit me in the dream, because we're not overthinking in our sleep, and we can just let it happen. Often this won't happen when you initially fall asleep, because we're in a very deep sleep from the moment we fall asleep to around about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So around about between, I would say, sometimes you wake up, go to the toilet, come back to bed. Around about between 3 and 5 o'clock is the time that you'll have these dreams that you'll remember. And they can, if you're really, really tired, you won't dream at all. That's because you're completely in a deep sleep and you won't remember. You've probably had a million dreams and you've probably gone astral travelling and you just can't remember it. But when you wake up and you think, "I've just seen my nanny, why isn't she still here?" Or you wake up crying because you've seen them, and you just... I mean, I remember an auntie of mine, well, I call her my auntie. She is a close, very, very close friend of the family, who I would say is my auntie, passed away quite suddenly at quite a young age. Not, you know, of the big C word. It was, I remember it vividly. The dream was, I saw my dad's bungalow in the dream, where she would often come to visit, and she was standing at the doorway, and I was driving past down the road, and I looked and I thought, "Oh, she's there." So I pulled in to the driveway really sharply, and I ran up to her and I held her in my arms and I said, "Where have you been? Where have you been? I've missed you." And I was crying and she was crying, and she's like, I'm sorry, I miss you too, blah, 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 blah. I woke up, and it was the anniversary. It was exactly a year to that day that she passed away. And it was her just coming to say, you know, she misses us and she loves us. The scenario was very, very realistic. It was my dad's house. I was driving past as if it was in real life. So take your dreams as real life, because although it's not pictures of movies playing out in your mind, it is a form of clairvoyance that you've seen the spiritual person that you needed to see at that time. Just because it's in a dream doesn't make it insignificant. It's always, like we say with spirituality, there's always a meaning to everything. Nothing is by coincidence. And when you wake up and you remember and you think, "Oh my God, it's the day that she passed away, and it was her saying, 'Remember me,'" you know? And that is also clairvoyance, although it's not typically, you know, when the mediums are up standing in front of an audience and they can pick things out of their head immediately. It's not like that, but I'm pretty sure that the majority of the human race has got clairvoyance in the respect of seeing people in dreams, and it's just as important that you recognise that that is a visitation and not just a dream. And you'll know that by your emotions, because emotions never lie to you. Your brain can rationalise things and try and put it to the back of your mind as if it was just a dream. But the emotion you feel in the dream when you see that person is so strong that you know it's a visitation. So that's the end of the video on clairvoyance, and I hope you enjoyed it. So leave me a comment and subscribe, and if you want to see any content or you want to ask me any questions, please message me and I'll be happy to reply. And in the meantime, take care and lots of love.